Are you finding that there's some content on the internet that's just a little too distracting and you're having a hard time looking at it and it's kind of ruining your productivity? I'll show you how to filter that content out coming up next. Welcome to the Corporate Video Critics, media tips for communications professionals. My name is David Spark. I am the founder of Spark Media Solutions. And today we're going to talk about a rather controversial topic, and that is filtering news out of the internet, or specifically your feed, so you don't see it, so it's not distracting to you. And that's my main argument of why you would want to filter some news out. There might be a certain political figure that is dominating the news, or could be potentially your team lost a major championship and you just can't bear to look at the winning team gloat about it all over the news and all over your social media. So if you would like to filter that content out so you could concentrate, here are some tips on how to do just that. Now, this is advice specifically for filtering news out of Twitter, Facebook, and Google News, and you need to be using the Google Chrome browser to do this. All right, let's take a look. Here we see the Google News page, and you see the very first two stories have Trump in them. And we're going to talk about removing specifically Trump from the internet. Now, there is a massive filter out there called the Trump filter, trumpfilter.com. And this got a lot of news, and I do not recommend that you use the Trump filter, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to add the extension to my browser, add to Chrome the Trump filter, going ahead and adding the extension. And it pops up here on the right. And that's usually where extensions pop up, right here on the right. This has been added. So I'm going to go click and select options. And I notice I'm going to select the mild sensitivity of removing Trump from Google News. You can be aggressive or vindictive, but this is just mild. So I've selected mild. Let's go back to Google News. Remember, only the first two stories are about Trump. Let's refresh the page. And all of the news has disappeared. That's not our goal here, is it? So let us remove. We go over here to that same extension, and I'm going to remove this from Chrome. That is the Trump filter. We remove it. And I go back here to Google News, and I refresh the page, and we have the news back again. All right, I'm going to close that extension thing out, and I'm going to close out the Trump filter. A far more effective technique of removing any kind of content, in this case Donald Trump, is to use this extension, Good News. And by the way, I'll have all these links in the description notes of this video. Click here on Add to Chrome. Let's go ahead and add that extension right here. Notice it pops up. Just have to click on it, and up pops our ability to add some keywords to filter out. So I will type in Trump, and I select add. It is there. Okay, let's go back to Google News, and let's just refresh the page and see what happens. Notice the first two stories right there have Donald Trump. Let's see if we see them. And they disappear. So the Trump stories are now gone. But look at this very first piece of text. It says some results were removed by the Good News Chrome extension. And I think that's valuable. They put that there because it reminds you that this filter is on. That's a good thing to have that reminder. So if I would want to see that content again, I would just click on the button that says show, and it appears again. All right, now we saw the Google News content. Let's go over here and look at how we pull Donald Trump from Facebook. Now, I am on a Donald Trump support group page. Obviously, I would be looking at this page if I wanted to remove him, but this is purely to prove a point and to show how well this filter works. So the filter that I recommend for removing on Facebook is something called Social Filter. So here it is, the extension. I'm going to add that to Chrome. Go ahead and add the extension. It will pop up here on the right. There it is, Social Filter for Chrome. We select options, and up pops a lot of different options here. We're not going to go through all of this. All we need to do is select the second option here that says filters, And it's important to click all these boxes at the top, which is filter in pages, timelines, and filter in groups. Then we're going to create a new filter. So click here, and we're going to name this Trump. And if any post content contains, and again, Trump, then hide the post. That's all we need. Go up here and select Done Editing Filter. Remember to save changes. Now let's go back to the Donald J. Trump support group, and we refresh the page and watch what happens. That Trump story has disappeared. We do have a story about Newt Gingrich, but notice wherever you see these additional lines, that is where a story, here we have about 3 or 4 lines, that's where a story has been suppressed. Again, if you want to remove that, you have to turn the filter off. Now the last is to filter out Trump from Twitter. There are a bunch of extensions out there for Twitter that I did not find valuable. Actually, flat out didn't work. So I'm going to recommend that you use a service. You might use something like TweetDeck that you monitor your Twitter behavior. And I recommend that you use this instead to filter out content. Now, these tools are incredibly powerful. And really all you have to do is come here to you click on the options button, or sort of the dial filter button, and we click on content, and specifically go down to here where it says excluding, and we're going to say Trump. That's it. Boom. Now Trump is filtered out. Now it's hard to tell on my feed right here, so I'm going to show you how powerful this search is. I actually recently did a search for Trump, but we're going to search for Trump and create a column on that. And we're just going to flat out add that column. Now, I have right here, look how active this is. This is a column of just content that mentions Trump in it, because I chose that filter. Well, I'm looking for content matching Trump, but now I'm going to click on this again, and I'm going to exclude Trump. Now watch, it kind of goes into a little bit of a battle where it sort of matches and excludes all at the same time. It's constantly updating, and no Trump content is coming out. All right, that's it. That's how to filter out any content, in this case Trump, from Twitter, Facebook, and Google News. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to my channel. I've got lots and lots more tips for communications professionals on media. And that's what the Corporate Video Critics is all about. If you got an advice or something you'd like to see, please add it in the comments below. Thank you so much for your time. Share this video, subscribe, and I really appreciate you being a viewer of the show.